Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're kind of in a different location because I am on vacation. My husband is doing a work trip. So last week we were in Okinawa and we did our diving and we did a whole bunch of vacationing things, and now Ruben's back to work and I have free time. So today I am going to make a video talking about the importance of having hobbies and how you can find hobbies that you love. And I'm not sure how far I'm going to get in this before my husband arrives home because I waited all day to start working. I've basically just been walking around and finding things to do, and I'm not sure how long my computer's gonna last for because I didn't bring a transformer. But anyways, I have this long list of things I want to talk about. So I just chose a topic and we're just gonna go, okay? So I am a huge lover of hobbies. Pretty much everything that I've ever done that I've tried to take professionally, like my art business, it has started off as a hobby. I love hobbies. I love having something that I can nurture and care for at a very controlled pace so that I don't burn out on anything. And I don't like for it to be a living thing. So children are not my thing. I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so I was parentified as a child, and I just got overwhelmed with lots of responsibility very early on because I had energy, I had attention to detail, I had all of these qualities that made me an excellent nurturer and carer. And so I was taken advantage of for those reasons many times. And so now as an adult, I'm able to take all of these qualities and really find how to apply them in a way that feeds back into myself. So it's a positive loop for taking care of myself. So my output equals my input. And so hobbies are this perfect opportunity for creating output that turns into input, and so on and so forth, right? It's a self-feeding loop. And so I want to talk to you about why you need a hobby, how you can find one, and then I also want to tell you like how you should treat your hobbies, okay? So first of all, why do you need a hobby? You have, if you're a woman like me, you have all of this beautiful energy to give, to devote upon something with such care and such attention and such love and appreciation, and you just are able to see details, appreciate details, and have a deeper connection and a deeper relationship with processes or people than maybe a lot of people are capable of giving back to you. So a hobby is an excellent way for you to basically nurture this relationship with yourself. And it keeps you from making the mistake of pouring all this love into another person that maybe does not have the capacity to give it back. And then you're left feeling so sad and so like you've been taken advantage of, but no one took advantage of you. You were just gifting your love and your attention to someone else who wasn't able to return those affections. And so this happens, of course, romantically. That's one of the biggest culprits, but also friendships. Or like if you have a friendship with someone who has children and they're wanting you to be involved with their children, and you know that this is a boundary for you, like you cannot be someone who cares for children. I know that's a boundary for me. Children are very chaotic and I love them, but I never ever ever want to be responsible for them. So if I have a friend who has a child, I do make it very clear I am not going to be available for babysitting in any capacity. Now, I still love that kid. I still want them to have the most wonderful life, and I love having conversations with them, but please do not ever expect me to care for that child. It's something I learned a couple years ago, and so now I'm very clear about it, and I know this about myself, and it's a very good way of keeping resentment from growing in friendships. So, know yourself and know what you love to give and how you've been hurt by other people. I know that I always get so frustrated that people can't seem to appreciate me for all the wonderful things that I am able to do and see and think about. And one of the ways that has created like this shift of focus for me, focusing all this energy into a hobby and then giving myself all the validation and going, wow, Amber, you're so smart, you're so capable, I love seeing all these beautiful things you create, you're so dedicated, and it shows, and it's just such a wonderful experience. So it's like being in a relationship with yourself. You're able to see everything you put in. So a hobby is this beautiful self-contained relationship process, and every time you work on it, you're working for yourself, right? And so my business is just a larger version of that, because it's still me being dedicated to my dreams, right? I try very hard not to follow any guidance that does not resonate. So like when people say, oh, you should do this for the algorithm, you should do this for like to make more money, X, Y, and Z. I just don't, I have decided that I'm going to treat my business as a hobby because I want to love it. And I get to have that space to just love it. And I would like for it to grow, but I want it to grow at a speed where I can easily see where it's going, what and anticipate what will happen next. And so I'm never blindsided by any giant responsibilities that pop up out of nowhere that I couldn't have imagined, right? So it's actually very intentional, right? That I don't put out videos all the time. Actually, consistency is not really important to me, because I think consistency for a lot of people often means like believing in yourself, right? So when you're consistent, you are able to believe in yourself because you know you're going to show up and do the work. I know I show up and do the work. I don't need consistency to tell myself that I'm going to be okay. And this goes back to my last video where I spoke about devotion versus discipline. I don't really follow much discipline in my business because it's a devotional practice. And so the discipline is all in me, like how I take care of myself daily, right? It's not the output. I don't discipline my output. My output is a result of my devotion. Got a little off track, but that's why I need my hobbies. I need my hobbies so that I'm growing something that takes care of me back, right? Because as wonderful as my husband is, right, he cannot be with me every moment of the day. He cannot be inside my head validating everything that I do and think and want to create. And so when you have hobbies, you have a very tactile manifestation of your devotion to your ideas. And as women, because we so often have this feeling or this sense of infinite opportunities, we can have this feeling of, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I like. When you have your hobby, it creates this it creates a container of belief about yourself. And so when you wake up and you see in your house, right, your little paint station that you have set up for yourself, or your sewing station, or whatever it is that you're doing, you see your piano and you're like, yes, this is me, right? And so it keeps telling you who you are, and you keep feeling that groundedness of having a sense of self. So I think women especially have to have hobbies, because in life you're going to have so many opportunities to do different things that if you're not honoring your desires by doing work towards them, all of a sudden you can feel very loosey-goosey and you don't know who you are anymore. And when you don't know who you are, anyone can take advantage of you and kind of start manipulating and shaping you into whoever would be the most beneficial for them, right? So if you keep sticking to your hobbies, right, and you keep nurturing them and following the cycles of your hobbies, right, so the ups and the downs, you're finding your skill level, you're finding your voice, you're finding all of these beautiful rhythms of a hobby, right? Because a hobby has its own life cycle. You have your life cycle, and everything is always kind of moving, oscillating around each other. And so once you kind of have a feel for who you are in this contained field that you have chosen, right? So it's all your free will. So you really know who you are, you know how you respond to difficulty, you know what motivates you, you know what makes you happy, you know all the ways that you like to be validated. And so when you have this relationship with yourself in this hobby space, in this hobby container, if you will, when you go out and you do stuff with other people, you show up very clearly knowing, I am who I am, this is what I want, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm open to, interested in, but I'm not quite there yet, like I don't have it mastered. And so it gives you all of these wonderful opportunities for boundaries that you really need to have taken care of, boundaries that you know you will stand up for, because that's all a boundary is, you being willing to stand up for yourself, right? So other people are not going to honor your boundaries. You honor your boundaries, right? And you have to speak up when it's uncomfortable so that you can hear yourself reinforcing those boundaries, so that you're creating that loop of trust with yourself, right? So that's all the reasons why you have to have hobbies. You cannot be focused on a person. If you have children, you still need hobbies, because that child is going to start doing stuff that does not reflect what you taught them, and you're still going to have to navigate that relationship with calmness and strength. And how are you going to know if you didn't have difficulties with your hobby and still stuck with it and navigated all of those things and went through the inner work that it took you to become the next level of competent with your hobby, right? So how you can find your hobbies, very, very easy. Follow what you like. It can be something as simple as makeup, because I know as girls, like we already, most of us, I think, a lot of us, we enjoy getting dressed up. We enjoy taking part of this body that we want to show the world, right? So every day we kind of manipulate a little bit. Oh, you know, I want this color on today. I want to do my hair this way today. I want to wear this color outfit today, etc., right? We kind of enjoy having this nebulous quality of ever-changing expectations and freedoms and just fun. Like, we're just fun like that. So one of your hobbies could be as simple as making earrings, because you love earrings and you're interested in all the different types of earrings that can be made. Or one of the motivations I had for making so much floral art when I started was I started making it and I was like, yeah, I really want a lot of art in my house. So I just made art in my house, and now my house is just filled with beautiful floral art. Another reason I love sewing so much is because I loved fashion and I loved dresses, and I wanted to be making more of my own outfits. So make it something that fits into your life really well. But what I was gonna say too is makeup. Makeup is a huge thing. So, and if you're good at makeup or if you enjoy makeup, this can easily transition into a love for fashion or a love of painting, because a lot of things, like, you know, they kind of start Venn diagramming and overlapping in certain areas, right, where the skills can be transferred to different areas. Or content creation, of course, because we've all seen the TikTokers who do all the makeup, and they teach you like how to do makeup. I love watching those because I always want to be just a little bit better and a little bit better, right? You can learn how to do hair. There are so many different things that can be a hobby. I think the most important thing that you have to find is, what do you have the capacity for committing to time-wise? And then also, what financial commitments can you make to your hobby? Because those are going to be like two big limiting factors when you're first starting. They will still be limiting factors like when you get to the point of really loving and having a lot of momentum, but you will not be needing encouragement because the obsession keeps pulling you, right? So in the beginning, it's not going to be an obsession because you haven't integrated it into who you are yet. But once you start feeding it, it just gets a life of its own, right? But until that time, you have to be disciplined and show up and care about it and find motivation to just do a little bit, right? Another hobby that I had for the longest time, and I can't wait to have one again, is having a garden. I loved having a garden. And of course, this can be tied right into, you want to cook, or you want to make, you want to grow your own food, right? Like cooking and gardening, those are this type of these type of hobbies, right? When they overlap, like, that's what makes it so easy, especially for me. Like, I love flowers, so you can see if you've watched my content, right? I make floral art, floral outfits. I like beautifying everything. I love makeup. I don't really film makeup because it's not my passion to share it, but I've made a couple earrings. I like really girly things, you know, so kind of choose one point and then just kind of see where it takes you, you know. And you can always find, if you're like more in a city and stuff, you can find groups, like get together groups who do scrapbooking, who do sewing, watercolor. You can go to all these kinds of classes and meet other people who love doing stuff like that. And then of course you might even make friends, right? And so then you have a friendship that is tied into a hobby. I think anything that is tied into a hobby is automatically more grounded than just a friendship that's just out in like the middle of nowhere, right? You need something to tie your interests together, right? It gives you a little more stability. And then how you should do your hobby. This is a big one because I hobbied a little close to the sun, I guess you could say. Hobbied irresponsibly. When we were living in Italy, I was so excited because all of a sudden I had gone from working full time to now having all this time to just play around with my hobbies. And I was painting, sewing, making YouTube videos, and doing a bunch of other stuff as well, like cooking and makeup and all this stuff, right? So I have had a hard time resting for pretty much as long as I've been alive. I'm usually a pretty energetic person, and in Italy I learned how to rest, and thank God for that because I really need it. But I started like overexerting myself. I started being much too involved in the creation, so the finished product. All my focus was on the finished product, and I kind of stopped enjoying the process because I was treating myself like a worker, like a DIY worker, to make my life better. Please don't make that mistake. My arm is still healing from the overuse injury I had in my tendon. And I still have to be very thoughtful, very mindful about it when I am doing things. So please hobby responsibly, okay? I don't know how many people are gonna just jump in and make errors like I did, but make sure that that it's a sustainable thing that you're choosing, right? So either make sure that it doesn't cost too much to go rent that piano room for however often you're gonna do your sessions, or make sure that you have access to affordable fabrics if you're gonna be sewing. Make sure that you can integrate this hobby into your life, maybe just a little bit at a time. You don't have to do grand gestures, right? But if you integrate it sustainably, it will easily become a part of you, and you won't have to ever, hopefully, recover from really big either financial setbacks or physical setbacks or burnout because you've just poured too much of yourself into your hobbies. Like, remember why you want a hobby. For me, it's always been because I really, really love creating. I love being in the zone of creation. It feels so cool to just be sitting there and basically channeling thoughts and ideas at the same time my hands are creating stuff. But I do have to remember that there was a time when I got a little focused on the output, right? So I kind of lost sight of the real reason why I love having hobbies, and I started being too goal oriented, right? So I think just be sure that you're not too goal oriented, because it can easily become a job. And just as my business is not my job, because I just don't want to have a job, right? I want to have a very fun life. And although I call it work because it's meaningful work, but it's more like a devotional work, right? It's not, oh my God, I have to get up and go to work. Never, never, never. It's always like, oh my God, I got so much work done. This was so much fun. But I only say it after the fact, right? I don't say, okay, well, now I'm gonna go and do all this work, right? No, because that automatically fills me with the sense of dread and just like, ugh, I have to. And I never want my hobbies to ever have that feeling again, because that's what injured me in the first round. So I keep trying to learn about myself in my hobbies, and I think that's another reason why I just love my hobbies so much, because it's always teaching me so much about myself. And I love getting to know myself more deeply. Like, every time I run into something new with my hobbies, or an issue, a specific issue that I maybe have never had before, or I've never had to figure out how to fix a specific thing before. It always gives me this beautiful opportunity to get to know myself more intimately. And I love that so much. I love getting to know myself. I think I'm such an interesting person, and there's no one else I would rather be. And so to have the opportunity to be me and to also get to know me more, it's such a blessing, and I love it so much. Thank you for watching this video. If you know what hobby you're gonna look into next, please tell me in the comments below, because I would love to know. I literally have 1,000 hobbies that if I had time, I would be doing them. But right now I just have, so many already. And I love them all, right? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope this was very insightful for you, or you enjoyed it in some capacity. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, and let me show you my dress. I will drop a link below. Alright, I hope you guys can see it okay. It's pretty short, but I like it. Okay, bye.